I'm so nervous. For Father's Day, I received one of the greatest gifts ever. My wife bought me the 23andMe DNA test. She always knew that I was really curious about my heritage. As you guys may or may not know, culture means so much to me. But I always wondered, is there anything else? Is there anything more? What's the whole story? And I think I'm the only person from my family who went ahead and did this DNA test, as well as the health and traits. So there's some health predispositions as well. I signed up for the full package. I want to know everything. I want to leave nothing behind. I am incredibly nervous. I have not seen them yet. I wanted to film my reaction and unbox this report together with you guys. I can only imagine, if I had to guess, just completely out of nowhere, just based on what I think in terms of migration patterns and where my ancestors may have come from, thinking about Lebanon, its colonization, and the Ottoman Empire. I mean, obviously, I think I'm gonna see obviously a Lebanese influence, perhaps even a Syrian one, as Lebanon was once a part of the greater Syria. Maybe a Yemeni influence, as we know the Arabs started in Yemen, and perhaps a Turkish influence with the Ottoman Empire. Here we go. I'm actually going to check out, we're going to start with the ancestry and then we're going to do the health stuff. The health stuff is super scary. The ancestry stuff is really, really exciting. I cannot wait to see what it has to say. Are you guys ready? Okay. Here we go. Where is your boy Loush from? All right. Your DNA suggests your ancestry is almost 47% Levantine with ties to 5 other populations. Okay, view report. Let's go. So the Levant, comprised of modern-day Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Israel, and Palestine, has been an artery of migration between Africa and Asia over 100,000 years. Wow. By 2,500 years ago, the seafaring Phoenicians of the central Levant, whose script gave rise to most modern alphabets, founded coastal colonies across the Mediterranean. In the centuries since the fall of Phoenicia to the First Persian Empire, the expansion of Islam and the Ottoman Empire have brought additional genetic diversity to the region. Today, large Jewish, Lebanese, and Syrian diaspora are found beyond the Levant, from Turkey to South America. Ooh, boy, look at that. So the Beirut Governorate, absolutely. I believe that's probably from my mom's side. And then you have the Nabataea Governorate. That's exactly where my dad is from. And my mother is also from South Lebanon, very, very close to the border. And then, wow, number 2. And then number 3 is obviously the South Governorate. So South Lebanon, they got it right on the mark. That's crazy. That's the 47%. Okay. So of the 65% Arab, Egyptian, and Levantine. So 47% came from the Levant, 3.5% came from Egyptian, Dunya, Haga. Oh, shout out to all my Egyptians. 32% of my DNA is Northern West Asian. Whoa! So Iranian, Caucasian, and Mesopotamian. Whoo! So there's a little bit of an Iranian influence there. Okay, from Armenians and Assyrians to Kartvilians and Persians, the diverse people of Iran, the Caucasus, Eastern Anatolia, and Mesopotamia share an ancient genetic history dating back to some of the world's first farmers. Let's get it. I take full credit for that now. I take 27% credit for the first farmers. Dominated at times by polytheistic, Zoroastrian, Christian, and Islamic beliefs, the region has seen powerful empires come and go. While most of this ancestry is native to Western Asia, traces of Central and Eastern Asian-like genetic signatures were introduced as a result of Turkic migrations and the 13th century Mongol invasion. Okay, today there are significant Armenian, Iranian, and Assyrian communities around the world, including many in the United States. Wow, okay, so when we look at just the majorities here, 65% Arab, Egyptian, Levantine, and then we got 32% Northern West Asian, with the majority of that at 27% being Iranian, Caucasian, and Mesopotamian. Wow. And then 0.6% Central Asian, Northern India, and Pakistani, okay? And then 0.3% European. Wow. So what's interesting here, it's saying from the Levant, it's like Lebanon is the highly likely match. It's not Jordan or Syria. It seems like my DNA is very much from that area. It's very, the roots seem to be very, very strong in Lebanon in terms of, you know, some of the first people, the Phoenician population to have inhabited that area. And then obviously there's a very, very strong Northwest Asian influence with Iran, Caucasian, Mesopotamian as well. So that it seems like there's a mix there. 0% North African, which is, you know, I mean, surprising to me. I thought just because of my cousin, he had a large Moroccan influence there. I thought that would transfer over to me as well. But wow, you have more Neanderthal DNA than 64% of other customers. Neanderthals were prehistoric humans who interbred with modern humans before disappearing around 40,000 years ago. Okay, what does this mean? Oh man, well, it's less than 2%, but still, shout out to my Neanderthal ancestors. Okay, so now we're gonna check out some health predispositions. This is not a diagnosis, but rather just some health conditions that have been known to occur throughout my genetic bloodline or my DNA. So there's a slight increased risk for celiac disease. Celiac disease is an autoimmune immune condition in which the consumption of gluten found in wheat, barley, and rye can result in damage of the small intestine. Oh, interesting. Celiac disease can lead to both digestive and non-digestive problems. This test includes 2 common variants, okay, associated with an increased risk of developing this condition. All right, noted. Celiac disease. Maybe I should be gluten-free. I'm not sure. Not sure if gluten has been affecting me negatively. Everything else, no variants detected. Seems to be pretty healthy. Parkinson's, nothing. Alzheimer's, nothing. Type 2 diabetes is typical likelihood. So type 2 diabetes, sugar buildup in the blood, which over time can lead to complications like heart disease and stroke. Excess weight and physical activity are important factors, but genetics also play a role. So type 2 diabetes, I got it. Gotta be on the lookout for that for sure. Wow, that was super fun. So it looks like 98.9% Western Asian and North African, which then breaks down into the Levant, the Arab, the Egyptian areas mostly. And then after that, there is another 32% of that goes to Northwest Asia. And then the percentages just kind of decrease under 1% and whatnot. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy Loush is pretty much mostly just coming from one place, which is pretty cool. I mean, in terms of influences and whatnot, I thought that I was gonna have a more diversified sort of migrating pattern just because of the area's influences and empires and colonies and whatnot. But it's really cool to see that I'm mostly from the Levant, being Arab, Egyptian, Levantine. And from the Levant, I'm mostly from Lebanon. And from Lebanon, most of my genetics and DNA come from the South, which is exactly where my parents are from, which is fantastic. That was really cool. Health-wise, whew, man, I gotta dig into the reports a little bit more, but the summary of the report says I just gotta look out for celiac disease, which is probably related to gluten, and type 2 diabetes, which is a no-brainer. Always gotta look out for that. I believe I do have some family members that have that, so definitely knowledge is power. Let me know if you guys did this test and what the results came up. Were you surprised? Were you not? And now, if you will excuse me, I will now play some music to please my genetic ancestors and to represent exactly where I'm from. Big shout out to you guys. I love you. Thank you for watching.